Welcome on back to Skipper. Today, I'm going to do a round-by-round review of our fantasy baseball drafts. I'm going to take the listeners' Roto League. We're going to run through the first 15 rounds, see what picks hit, see what picks didn't. It's really interesting. I've already done this run through once to see how we draft and how it's played out so far this season, so let's get into it. All right, round one, you're going to see it up on the screen here. Obviously, Trey Turner as the 1-1, I think is the right pick still. Around 13 home runs, he's stealing the bases, he's driving runners in, he's doing why he was picked first overall. A couple other picks I really like in this round. I'm going to go Jose Ramirez, just bleeding everyone in RBIs for the longest time. He's done a really good job for a Cleveland team that's kind of surprised at this point in the season. I think Rafael Devers as the 12th pick has been a really good pick as well. But I don't think even the bottom half of this first round, there's really any bad picks. Kyle Tucker's another guy I liked a lot. Bryce Harper before the injury. Freddie Freeman's been okay. Mookie Betts has been okay. Garrett Cole has done his thing. Corbin Burns has been pretty good. But I think some of the Blue Jays, Vlad isn't going to have the season he had last year, so as the fourth pick, it's not as good. And then Bo Bichette in the sixth. It's just another pick who's kind of struggled a little bit here. But I think just the bottom half of this first round is really good. And I don't think you're really worried, I guess, unless you had Bryce Harper for your fantasy team at this point in the season, if you picked one of these guys in round one. Round two, going to be up there as well. You started Max Scherzer, Shohei Ohtani, the batter, Buehler, Acuna. I think Max Scherzer, really good pick again. Obviously, a little bit of injuries this season, but when he has been healthy, he is the Max Scherzer that we know and love. Walker Buehler's been pretty good for the most part. Ronald Acuna Jr., the injury lasted about a month is what we thought, and he's come back and just been electric. So I really liked Ronald Acuna even like at the end of round one a little bit, but getting him here in round two I think is really good. Luis Robert has been good, little injury history. Mike Trout, what do we think about Mike Trout? We thought the injuries could be bad. He's been pretty healthy this season, so Mike Trout is a good spot there. Brandon Woodruff struggled with the injury, or he couldn't feel his fingers for a little bit. Xander Bogaerts, I like this pick. He's done his thing. If we're going to average, Ozzie Albies obviously out for a little bit. Shane Bieber, up and down season so far. Matt Olson, kind of the same. Solid production, I think. That was Jared's guy. And then Manny Machado is a guy I wanted to take at the end of round two instead of taking Devers at the end of round one, and he's been great so far this season. Round three is where this starts to get interesting, where you see some of these bad picks. Starling Marte, pretty good. Tim Anderson, pretty good as well. And then you get into couple of shittier picks here. Salvador Perez really hasn't panned out. People are talking about dropping him. That's not what you want in a third round pick. That's going to help you lose your fantasy leagues right there. Giolito, a guy I want to pick up now, but I mean, we're in July to this point. It's July 6th, and now it's, hey, you should buy low on a guy, and obviously because he's been pretty bad. Urias, pretty good. And then you get into two of the best hitters in baseball in the middle of the third round, Yordan Alvarez and Aaron Judge. If you took these two guys, you're laughing pretty much. Besides the stolen bases, hopefully you had addressed those somewhere else, but you knew if you were taking Aaron Judge or Yordan Alvarez, you weren't going to get help in the stolen base category. So if you took those two guys, you're happy. Trevor Story is a guy I took here in the draft. I'm in first place in this league, so you'll see the Pujols. That is my fantasy team. Trevor Story is a guy who I didn't think was really going to figure out. He went on that huge home run tear, but in a Roto League, the average is bad, but he's made up for it by a ton of RBIs. Lindor, pretty good. Freddie Peralta, not what we wanted. Simeon, really slow start. Started to pick it up a little bit. And then Sandy Alcantara, arguably the best pitcher in baseball. That is an awesome pick at the end of round three. Again, like round three, round four is kind of a bit of a struggle. George Springer, good. I think he's been good. Whit Merrifield struggled. Teoscar hurt. Liam Hendricks done his thing. Maybe not at this point, round four. He hasn't returned that value, but he's gotten saves, and that's why you pick Liam Hendricks. Buxton is a guy I was huge in on. He just super hot start, struggle in the middle, super hot right now. So I think he'll figure it out the average-wise and just be a really good pick by the end of the year. Mullins isn't going to do the home runs that he did last year, but the stolen bases are still there. Aaron Nola, I think, has been good. This is a good spot for him. Austin Riley has been awesome again. I start to struggle as to why people doubted Austin Riley after what he did last season, as he's just continued to rake this year. Wander Franco, a little hurt. Gosman, awesome start, struggling now. Chris Bryant hit his first home run yesterday, so that's not a great pick in the fourth round. And then Eloy hurt again. Fifth round, we have a couple more hits than the last two. Castellanos hasn't been a hit so far this season. Hader, for sure a hit. Paul Goldschmidt, for sure a hit. Zach Wheeler, kind of done his thing. Not crazy, though. Randy Rosarena hasn't really panned out as what we thought. He's getting hot now, but it just doesn't return the value as a 5th-round pick. Jose Altuve is going to be an all-star at second base. Good pick there. Robbie Ray, again, is starting to figure it out after a really slow start in Seattle. I don't know if he's returning the 5th-round value currently or he will be able to do it by the end of the year. So maybe not as big of a hit right now, but I don't think you're really worried after his last 5 starts. Pete Alonso, the guy I picked here, is a guy I was super high on. Believe he's leading the majors in RBIs at this point, and I think he's been really good, so I like that. Jose Abreu, Mondesi, obviously a miss. Lance Lynn just started throwing last month. Charlie Morton kind of figured out. Charlie Morton did what he did last year again, which is unfortunate for fantasy managers, but I think he's okay. 6th round is almost better than some of the other rounds before it. Stanton, okay, maybe. I don't think I'd like the pick that much when it happened, but if he gets hot, he can hit 1,000 home runs in a season, which is okay, and obviously there's value there for your fantasy teams. But Joe Musgrove, amazing, good pick there. Barrios, not that great of a pick. Real Muto, been okay. Max Fried, I think, is a really good pick. Nolan Arenado is a really good pick. Javier Baez just stopped figuring out how to hit the baseball, so that hasn't been great. Logan Webb isn't what he was last year. Seager, okay, a little disappointing. Hitting home runs, not driving that many people in, but as a 6th-round guy, I don't hate it. Tyler O'Neill, not so much. And then Carlos Rodon and Alek Manoah have both been really good. Alek Manoah might be the best pick of this round based on some values here. But I like this 6th round a lot. I think what we drafted in the 6th round as a community there wasn't bad at all. We get into round 7, and the top half's a little bit better than the bottom here. JD Martinez, a guy that Jer, rest in peace, said not to draft, has been really, really good. Brian Reynolds wasn't so good at the start of the season. He's starting to figure it out. 3-homer game last week. Really good there. Alex Bregman starting to turn it on a little bit. Disappointing start. Ketel Marte is a guy I loved this season. Has been disappointing. He's played about the same amount of games as he played last season, and he has 10 less home runs and 25 less runs batted in. Maybe that's how they deploy him. I think it's just kind of a down year for Ketel Marte. Jazz Chisholm, a guy I didn't love this season, has been able to bring you a ton of value in the second base spot as a guy who's going to rack up home runs, RBIs, and some stolen bases, in obviously at second base, which is a tough position to do so. So I think that's a good hit here. Will Smith, as one of the top catchers, I think it's a good pick in the round 7 that I took there. I have him on all of my fantasy teams this year, and I've just been happy with his value that he's returned. Tatis obviously hasn't played it. Lau, hurt. Montas, okay. And then Jorge Polanco, pretty good as well. So this isn't so bad of a round compared to some of the others. Round 8 is a really, really fun round to look back on. Justin Verlander starts us off as 1. Awesome pick. Dylan Cease, 2nd pick of this round. Pretty good. He's kind of doing the same Dylan Cease thing, running the high ERA, getting hit pretty hard, but being able to strike out the world, it makes Dylan Cease a good player. Rendon hurt, done again. And then you have arguably the best pitcher in the AL, Shaden McClanahan, taken in the 8th round. Like, just returning terrific value there. These are the type, if I really wanted you to go hitter heavy at the start and pick up pitchers, this round 8, if you can hit on guys like McClanahan or Verlander, you already returned what you missed on the top arms in the first 2 rounds. So I think these are awesome guys to hit on here. Trevor Rogers, kind of a miss. Chapman, a miss. Bobby Witt, been okay. Yelich is a miss here. Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher, I think is a good hit. And then DJ LeMahieu's been okay, but definitely better than last season, so I think that's not bad. The 9th round in this draft has been extremely ugly. Max Muncy, no, just hasn't gotten it done. He's hitting under 200. That's not what Max Muncy does. He still gets on base a little bit, but this is an OBP league. This is an average league, so Max Muncy has been a bad pick in this draft. Kenley Jansen, no, there's not it. Jonathan India's been hurt. The first hit, I think, of this round is going to be Kyle Schwarber, 2nd right now in Major League Baseball in home runs. Chris Bassett, okay, round 9. Haniger, okay, round 9, that's fine. But then Bellinger, it's a miss. Emmanuel Clase is leading the AL in saves, so I think that was a good pick by me here in round 9. Nelson Cruz has been okay. Jared Walsh, okay. Jesse Winker, I saw was dropped in this league this week, and then Joey Votto again had COVID for what seemed like forever, so not that great of a pick to the end of round 9. Round 10, Marcell Ozuna starts us off. It's fine. I don't think he's returned round 10 value. Franmil Reyes has really not been that great. Jake Cronenworth has struggled again, so it's not great pick. Chris Taylor, I just see broken foot out for a little bit. Edwin Diaz has been getting the saves that we wanted from Edwin Diaz. I don't think so bad. And then again, Mets most wins in the NL at this point in the season. Edwin Diaz is a good pick. Ryan Presley here, good pick. Tyler Mahle did not do what he has done last season, so it's a tough pick. Tommy Edman, really good pick here in round 10. Kershaw, okay. DeGrom, okay. And then we have CJ Cron, who's just absolutely raked this season, a guy I loved. And then Sonny Gray, I think, is also a decent pick here in round 10. So not so bad of a round, more hits than round 9. In the 11th round, we have some different types of picks that have hit. Kopech's been okay. Naya's been okay. Gallegos hasn't been as good as I thought he was going to be. Ian Anderson, again, I didn't think he's been as good as I wanted him to be. Logan Gilbert, hit so far. I think that was a really good pick there. Rhys Hoskins he gets so much hate for no reason. He'll go cold and hot. That's just who Rhys Hoskins is. And I think this is a solid pick, and he's going to be okay. Luis Castillo, an okay pick here. I did take Julio Rodriguez as a guy I've been really, really happy with. 13 home runs and ton of stolen bases already in this Roto League, helping me in that stolen base category get me to the top of this table so far. Nate Eovaldi is a guy I thought could win AL Cy Young. Been pretty good. So I think that's a hit there. Kimbrel, I wouldn't say is a hit. Then Framber Valdez, for sure, has pitched really well for the Astros. And then the guy that I loved as well, Willy Adames. The home runs are there, the production's kind of there, but the average is not there, so I wouldn't say this is a hit in round 11. Round 12, we get a lot of guys that have kind of hit based on what I've written down. First, Pablo Lopez, for sure, a hit. He, even if you think he's going to regress a little bit, which some people might, I think he has returned a ton of value. He's been really, really good for the Marlins. So I think this is a hit in round 12. Kind of did what he did last season before the shoulder injury. Seiya Suzuki, when he's been healthy, has been good. Lourdes Gurriel, not a great pick there. He started to figure out average-wise, so if you needed him for average, he's definitely helping you out there. Erod, no. Zach Gallen, I'm very happy with, as I took him here in the 12th round. Grandal, not really. Trent Grisham, not really. I think Alex Verdugo is a good pick by Jer here. Luis Garcia was a really good pick. Dansby Swanson was a really good pick. And then Dalton Varsho is a guy, he's hitting the home runs, he's stealing the bases, he's playing baseball. And Dalton Varsho has been really good. So I think if you took Varsho, you're really happy with it. And I think this is a pretty good round 12. So I'm looking at the 13th round here again, and there's a lot of hits here as well. I'm going to start it off. Dylan Carlson starting to figure it out. Blake Snell looked good in his last couple starts. Ryan Mountcastle, for sure, a hit. They even tried to move. Well, they didn't try to. They did it at Camden Yards. They moved left field back. But Mountcastle still performed, I think, 14 homers, 40 RBIs at this point. If you took him in the 13th round, you're happy with what he's returned for you. Then you look Kalenic. He's not in the majors. Joey Gallo might not be in the majors soon. That's how bad he's been. Austin Meadows has maybe 1 home run. I think maybe 0. Gleyber Torres is a really good pick as a bounce back guy. So taking him at 7th pick in the 13th round, I think you're returning a ton of value there. Ty France, before he got hurt, was really good for the Mariners. Josh Bell has been awesome. Wilson Contreras has been really good. Then Anthony Rizzo, as long as you did not need him for average in your Roto League, he's hit 20-something home runs so far to this point. So I think you're happy if you picked some of these guys in your 13th round. You see a really good round 13, and it's followed up by a pretty shitty round 14. Scott Barlow has been good. 12 saves, I believe. Urquidy, okay. ERA is up there. Means hurt. Brian Hayes, maybe if you needed some steals. Wainwright, like innings, I guess. Moncada hasn't been great. Luke Voigt went on a nice little stretch there, but he was a must-add as a pickup who's someone under 50% roster, so taking him in round 14 of a 24-round draft, I don't think that's so good of a pick. Corey Knebel, not so good of a pick. Chris Sale might start pitching next week. Josh Donaldson is now under league average in weighted runs created plus, and then Noah Syndergaard, it's been okay. So I think this round 14, honestly pretty horrible, but a couple good picks. And finally, the last round I'm going to review here is the 15th round. Hyun-Jin Ryu, Tommy John, Deslafani out for the season. Avisail Garcia is hurt right now, hitting 212, I believe. Marcus Stroman hurt. Alex Kirilloff was sent down at this point. I understand Jared loves Alex Kirilloff. That's why I took him in the 15th round. But this was someone who was under 30% rostered a week ago as he was in AAA. So you, as a 15th round pick, it didn't really hit here. But a guy I think is useful on fantasy teams, so it's not a total bust. Mike Clevenger, been pretty good since his return back. I think he'll be able to add a decent piece to this Padres rotation as they go forward. Trey Mancini's been pretty good. I have no issues with Trey Mancini here. Ian Happ, the guy I took in this round, been pretty good. I hope he's on the Blue Jays at the end of this. And then Tarek Skubal of the Tigers has been pretty good as well. I could have gone like 25, but I think there's a really long video, and some of those players just aren't even on the team, so you can't really find that many hits. But it is funny to see some of the young guys go later on, see that they have hit already. But there it is, 15 rounds of the Skippers listeners Roto League. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.